Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Sunday, the 1st of January 2023. Happy New Year, and it was a Happy New Year. Happy New Year's Day for Millwall as we ran at riot against Rotherham and ended up winning 3-0, which is the scoreline. I predicted that we would win 4-1. It was the same goal difference. It was a 3-goal win for us. And before we get into the match report, though, let me just say the Mill message board from millfc.co.uk put up today. Happy 16th birthday, TJ Curtis. There he is there. And then some in memoriams. Millwall Football Club is saddened to hear of the passing of former player John Jackson. John played 89 times for Millwall between 1979 and 1981. He was a goalkeeper, primarily, I believe, at Crystal Palace, then went to Leyton Orient, and then at Millwall. So, John Jackson there. That's before my time, but some of you may remember him. And another player you may remember is Brian Brown. Brian Brown has also passed away. He appeared 212 times for the Lions between 1968 and 1975, and he scored 5 times from fullback. So playing 212 times for Millwall, imagine that. That's got to put him up there in the probably definitely top 50, maybe top 40 in appearances for Millwall. So Brian Brown there, that one is definitely way before my time. But yeah, both of those players passed away recently, and a fan here passed away. Rest in peace, Paul Hansel. Paul was one of life's characters and was loved by all that knew him. He was always proud to be a Millwall fan. Rest in peace, Paul. He's there. So yes, rest in peace, Paul. Now moving on to this. This was put up before the game by Millwall's Twitter. There are 153 Australian Millwall supporters from various sports clubs around Australia. They made their trip all the way down under to, well, if they're down under, what are we then? Up and over. So they've come from down under to here to cheer on Millwall today, with some of the younger fans hosting the Guard of Honour that you saw welcome the teams out onto the pitch today. So there you go, Socceroos. There they are. So they picked a good one to come to. At least they didn't turn up to the Bristol City game. Oh, that would have been a shock. Yes, but today's game was a belter. It's expected. I mean, to be honest, Rotherham United, they're a yo-yo team that come up between League One and the Championship. At the moment, they're not in the best of states. They've got many player injuries, and it would be fair to say they're effectively a League One team at the moment, and fully expect them to be relegated at the end of the season. I mean, the manager's saying they need 6 new signings before they play a game because they've got so many players missing. So it was expected that we would win, and we did win. We won very well, very convincing, winning the lead after 4 minutes. So, and they made. I'm going to be honest. They made Bradshaw look good. Lord Bradshaw looked good against them, which he doesn't. He's very industrious player. He's not very clinical striker at this level, but he works hard and he does a lot of work. But today he got the goals. He got the goals today. So let me stop waffling on and let's actually read this damn thing, eh? The Lions moved up to 4th. Yes, more on that later, with an emphatic win against the struggling Millers. Millwall started 2023 with a big win at the Den as they beat Rotherham United 3-0. The Lions took the lead after just 4 minutes when Tom Bradshaw flicked a free kick into the net for his 5th goal of the season, but his side were unable to double their lead in the first half despite dominating the Millers. It took 21 minutes of the second half for them to find that second goal, with Bradshaw once again popping up by a powerful effort into the net off of Cameron Humphreys for an own goal. Yeah, like I was just saying about the lack of quality from Tom Bradshaw, that was a shot that was, to be fair, could have went out for a throw-in if no one touched it. I mean, it was so far off of being on target, but the defender stuck his leg out, it hit him, and he went in the net. So, bing bong, we get a goal. Fantastic stuff. The striker wasn't done there, popping up in the perfect position after Andreas Vogelsammer's effort was parried by Victor Johansson, allowing him to fire in his brace and send Millwall up to 4th. So yeah, effectively a Bradshaw hat-trick, but not officially because that second goal was way off target and was given as an own goal. So yeah, it was a Bradshaw show today. Mill's players clearly weren't on the lash for New Year's Eve as they threatened inside the opening minute when Sean Hutchinson narrowly missed the target. Powerful header from close range. However, just 3 minutes later, Tom Bradshaw gave them the lead with his 5th goal of the campaign. The Lions won a free kick down the right flank, which Callum Stiles delivered onto the head of the striker, allowing him to flick it past Victor Johansson and into the back of the net, give his side an early lead. They weren't done there, clearly sensing the chance to put Rotherham to the sword in the first half. In the 11th minute, George Honeyman's corner was delivered to Stiles on the edge of the box, allowing him to run in and volley a powerful goal. However, the unique set-piece routine came to an end when his shot bounced off Vogelsammer in an offside position, prompting the linesman to raise his flag. Yes, Callum Stiles was very energetic today, full of beans. Zion Fleming clearly saw an opportunity to catch up with Chuba Akpom and Victor Gyökeres at the top of the goal-scoring charts, with the Dutchman failing to really test Johansson with a couple of tame efforts. The biggest chance to double the lead in the first half came in the 24th minute when Stiles deflected shot bounced back to him from the left side of the box, allowing him a second bite of cherry. It ended up fizzing into path of Bradshaw, who had a simple tap in for his 6th of the campaign, but he somehow fired over the bar from point blank range. I've seen the highlights back now, and that's not quite what happened. Stiles had a volley. I think that it was a header from the defender, and then Stiles, without letting it bounce, volleyed it at the goal. Blinding effort. The keeper parries it out. It goes back to Stiles. Stiles could have shot again. He didn't. That was clearly a pass. He feigned to shoot and then crossed it into Bradshaw, who put it over the bar. An unmarked George Honeyman was presented with a golden opportunity to send Mill 2-0 up at the break when he evaded the offside trap to head Murray Wallace's cross straight at Johansson, while Andreas Vogelsammer couldn't flick on any of the resulting corners into the back of the nets. Rotherham's chances came right at the end of the half when Hakeem Dauphin headed straight into the gloves of Bartosz Kwiatkowski, and then again when Connor Washington rounded the Polish goalkeeper, totally missing an empty net, firing miles over the bar. But not before he made Bart fall over. And that's a very scary moment there. And more on that. Yeah, Bart, if you didn't know, we'll more on that later. Bartosz Kwiatkowski started the game. Now, George Long wasn't dropped. We'll get into that later. So, having witnessed the Millers' improvement, Millwall realised that they needed to end the match early in the second half and push to double their lead. It didn't quite click for them, however, with Bradshaw failing to pull the trigger. Fleming's lobbed pass in the box in the 55th minute. The Dutchman was given a chance to score from a free kick a few seconds later, but he clipped the wall. Rotherham were defending for their lives, which is far from ideal for them when 1-0 down. Johansson was called into action again to deny Hutchinson's header. but his side failed to clear the danger, almost leading to the concession of a penalty. Soon after, Bradshaw headed narrowly past the post from yet another free kick, providing a big let-off for the visitors. There was to be no let-off in the 66th minute, however, as Millwall finally doubled their lead. Fleming drove forward with the ball, but was closed down, forcing him to play a long pass over to Bradshaw on the right. The striker didn't hesitate this time, firing a powerful effort that cannoned into the net off of Cameron Humphreys for an own goal. Disagreed, like it was a powerful effort, but it was way he banana footed it. It was way that would have went out for throwing if no one had touched it. But the defender did touch it and it bounced. It was hit very hard. So when the defender touched it, it just boom into the goal. The line striker was clearly frustrated by that, but he was right on the spot to make it 3-0 with 5 minutes to play. Fleming started a quick counter to set Bogglesam to his left, allowing the German to fire a powerful effort at Johansson. The Rotherham keeper made the save but couldn't hold it, allowing Bradshaw to rush in, tap the ball into the net to seal the win. Takeaways: Bradders makes it 6. Could it still go down as his hat-trick of the season? Who knows? No. Bradshaw could try to claim that second goal too, and he will get told absolutely not. Regardless of what happens with that, the Millwall striker really needed another goal and failed to score in the Championship since his first half hat-trick against Watford in mid-October. He has, however, turned provider in recent weeks, adding 2 assists to his tally, showing how crucial he is to the team at the moment. Indeed. No one's got it in for Bradders. They know he's not the best striker. He's not a premium striker. He's good enough at this level. He's good enough, and he's doing things like this and getting the assists. We need him to do things like that so that we can go up the table, and we're in 4th now, so that's good. Mill will never surrender. If the Lions have a lead, they won't be giving up a real fight. Ratsmen are one of a handful of teams out of the entire 92 professional clubs to maintain a 100% win record in games that they have taken the lead in, something that the manager has spoken about regularly. Scoring early on is crucial today and set the tone for the rest of the match. Yes and no. I think that could be a false positive. It's like we're not good enough up front to score goals against teams that we won't beat. That could be you know what I mean? Like if you spin it around the other way, but well, actually, we take the lead in games where we score, and we're gonna beat that team because we're good enough to beat them. Like Rotherham today, we massively outclassed them today on paper before the match, and then actually in the match we outclassed them. So it's no surprise that we take the lead and then we win. So back in the playoff hunt, well, Millwall were never out of the race for the top 6. They briefly dipped out of the places after Thursday's stalemate against Bristol City, but today's win carried them up to 4th. Some teams below them are yet to play this weekend, and the Lions could be back out on top 6 by that time. They resume their Championship campaign in 2 weeks' time with a trip to Middlesbrough. However, it sets them up for an incredibly tough January run. Includes a number of tough league matches and an FA Cup tie against Sheffield United next weekend. Yes, this is it. So the stop-start, it's stopping again because we have to take a week off next Saturday to play an FA Cup 3rd round tie against Sheffield United, which is not ideal because then the week after we're back in league action with a long trip up to the Riverside, play Middlesbrough, which is not going to be easy. I'll show you that in the league table at the end of the video. So if we go to the match report from millfc.co.uk to get the team and the subs. So Biakovsky, McNamara, Hooper, Hutchinson, Wallace, Honeyman, Styles, Vogelsammer, Fleming, Mitchell, Bradshaw, and the subs were, interestingly, most of the all of the attacking players were taken off, replaced, which is good to see. All of the subs were utilised, and all of the hard-working attacking players who had been knocking constantly on Rotherham's door were a bit knackered and were taken off. So the subs were Essay. He got some minutes again, 83 minutes for Honeyman. Saville, 72 minutes for Styles. Bury on 83 minutes for Bolsomer. Shackleton on 88 minutes for Fleming. And Afobe on 83 minutes for Bradshaw. And the unused subs were Truman. Who's that? Exactly, that is the third choice goalkeeper. Was George Long is AWOL. And the other unused sub was Cresswell. Match stats. So Cooper got booked, and the crowd was 12,899 with 375 Rotherham United fans. So there you go. And here's the game coming up now, which is annoying, to be honest with you. I know it's the FA Cup, and you would think you would want to play not a weakened team, but some of the squad players. But it's against a team in our league who are flying high, so it's a chance to make a statement against them. I don't know when we have to play them again in the league, but if it's soon, especially this is a game we should be taking seriously. But who knows? Who knows how you're going to do it? I imagine you don't want to play anyone who's got any knocks or little niggles and stuff, but anyway, so Bart started. Why did Bart start? Well, this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Bart Biakowski gets a fresh opportunity in Millwall win over Rotherham as George Long misses out due to family situation. The Garrow explained that a family situation kept George Long out of their matchday squad for today's 3-0 victory over Rotherham, and added it was an opportunity for Bartosz Biakowski. Biakowski made his first start since early September. That is now 3 clean sheets in a row for Millwall, 2 for Long and 1 for Biakowski. Rowett, asked about Long's absence, said, "It was a family situation. Hopefully everything's gone well, but he rang me in the middle of the night, so it's pretty clear he wasn't going to make the game. It's an opportunity for Bart. He's waiting patiently. It's a bit unfair that George is coming out of the team. Not through performances, so I'll have to think about that on the back of the FA Cup game. It's given Bart a chance to go and play a couple of games to get that feel again, and he looked more than comfortable." So Garrett suggesting there that Bart was set to start in the FA Cup game, saying a couple of games. So interesting. So we are making some changes for that game, which is interesting. So okay, you would have expected that because recently under Rowett, the second choice goalkeeper has been starting in the cup games, which is only fair. So they're both very good goalkeepers. They have different skill sets, and looks like Bart's going to have another chance against a very good Sheffield United team. So we'll see how he gets on then. But yeah, family situation. So it's not really any of our business, to be honest with you. If it's a private thing, it's a private thing. Some people suggesting it's like a baby or something. Don't know. I don't know if George Long has social media and he's a public person, or maybe he's a private person. It's none of our business. If he does have social media, I'm sure he might put something on there, but it's not really on our business. So, but whatever's going on, good luck, George, and yeah, better watch out for Bart because he's going to try and take your place. So. Moving on now to this, which the headline makes literally no sense. It may have been written by an AI, I do not know, but I'll quote it verbatim and see what you think. Don't try not to have a stroke. Millwall get shot at start of 2023 of recording a first den victory since October. What? What? Millwall get shot at start of 2023 of recording a first den victory since October. Millwall get hot at the start of 2023. Millwall get great start. I don't know what they're trying to say with that headline, but let's read the story and try and figure it out. Gary Rowett highlighted the importance and significance of Millwall's home form after the Lions' nil-nil draw with Bristol City on Thursday night. Yes, one thing to mention. Since that debacle at Sunderland where we shipped 3 goals, we've played Wigan, we've played Watford, we've played Bristol City, and we've played Rotherham. That is 4 games. Can you remember how many goals we conceded? 1. We kept 3 clean sheets in a row against Watford, Bristol City, and Rotherham. We only conceded 1 goal against Wigan. Now that is something. That ain't nothing. That is something. That's something very impressive. Good stuff there. The stalemate was the 3rd consecutive draw in SC16 after both Hull and Wigan left South London with a point. The Lions boss was also keen to reinforce the message. Not only those 3 draws that we've just had, Wigan, Bristol City, and Hull, were our only draws at home this season. The Lions boss was also keen to reinforce the message that the Championship's competitive nature means no 2 games are ever the same. The South Londoners beat Watford on Boxing Day before Thursday's stalemate with the Robins. The Lions have the chance to pick up their first home win since the World Cup break against Rotherham today. So this was written in the morning. So, okay. Oh, now it makes sense. Mill get a shot at the start of 2023 of recording the first den. Now it makes sense because this was written before the game. Okay. Mill will get a shot. Mill will get a shot at the start of 2023 of record. Okay. Okay, I understand now. The Lions have the chance to pick up their first home win since the World Cup break against Rotherham today. Should they be successful, it will be 7 points taken from a possible 9 over the Christmas period. Yes. If we go and perform against Rotherham, then we have an opportunity. That's all it is, to win 2 games and draw 1 in a week, Rowett said. Rotherham will do the same as Bristol City did. They will come and make it hard. They'll work hard, they'll make it physical, and they'll make it hard for us to do what we want to do. We just have to keep improving those little nuances in our game, improve those little bits of our performance, and try and add a bit of extra quality to it in January if we can, and just keep working as hard as possible to stay at the top of the league. So, are we looking at a marquee signing? Now, we've obviously signed a speculative signing in the young lad Idomu Imaku, but Gary Rowett trying to add an extra bit of quality, which would probably be a target man striker figure, someone on the right flank. Because however good Bogle Sammer is, he's not a winger, is he? He's not an outside forward. There are a lot of good teams with good options. The fact that we're up there, I think we should be quite pleased. But if you look at our home form so far, we're virtually 2 points a game at home. We've only lost 2 in 12 games at home form. In terms of points, winning games and not losing games is excellent. The last 3 games we've drawn all of them. We've just not found that fluidity. Whether that's at the break of losing a little bit of rhythm, I don't know. Whether it's teams coming and playing a bit deeper at times, That's fine, we'll have to find a solution to that. After the Watford game, the season isn't going to go smoothly all the time. You'll get performances like the 0-0 against Bristol City, when we'll be pleased, and then we might get little blips like this one. But we've taken a point, it's another clean sheet, and we'll need to move forward and certainly play a bit better in the next game, which was the Rotherham United game, and we played a hell of a lot better. We actually had many shots on target and scored 3 goals, so fantastic stuff. So yeah, this was written in the morning, so it's Mill gets a shot at start 2023 to record, I would say, to record a first end victory since October. So this one is actually post-match now. We're going back to post-match. Garrett delighted as Mill start 2023 with a big win against Rotherham. The Lions moved back up to 4th thanks to an own goal and a brace from Tom Bradshaw. Garrett was pleased with his side's performance as he secured a 3-0 win against Rotherham United on New Year's Day. Crucially, there was a big improvement from their performance against Bristol City on Thursday evening, and Rowett is confident it sets up his side for a difficult month ahead. I thought we worked hard in the days in between the games just to try and open up those spaces in between centre backs and wing backs, he said after the win. I thought we switched play really well. I thought we made some brilliant runs off the ball. I just felt that it looked a really proactive performance. I can't think of the amount of times that George Honeyman got in behind with a great run, or Voggy, or Bradders. I thought we worked hard, incredibly hard, to open space, and that made a difference to us today. It's been a tough one for Rotherham. I followed their last few games, and of course, they've had some real key injuries that have made it very difficult for them to remain as competitive as they'd like to be. I thought they worked incredibly hard. There were a few moments of warning signs when we played so well in the first half. To go 1 up, but only 1 up, I thought we should have had quite a few more than that 1 goal. Then they had a couple of big moments towards the end of the half where they probably should have scored, which would have made it a little bit different. We spoke at half time about discipline, concentration levels, and doing the right things. We started a bit sloppily, but other than that, I thought it was a really good performance. To have 26 shots and 10 or 12 of them on target, I think the disappointing bit is that we didn't score more goals. Again, like I said, Rotherham got key players out. It's such a tough division that if you haven't got those players available, it's a difficult enough challenge anyway. But you haven't got those players available, it means you have to work extra hard and hope that you can nick something or capitalise on an error. We didn't make too many of those tonight. So there you go, there is Gary Rowett there. So interestingly, Gary Rowett, after the game, in his post-match, is quoting the bloody stats, the shot stats, and the points per game. So he knows, he's got his finger on the pulse, he knows all about it. So according to him, we had 26 shots, and 10 of them, or 12 of them, were on target. So, but then you only score 3 goals. So, but that's it. I would prefer that rather than Bristol City, where we had like 7 and none of them were on target. You want 26 shots. I mean, that's what you want. That is what you want. Even if you only scored 1, it would be disappointing if you had 26 shots and you only scored 1 goal. But that's a lot better than not having the bloody shot on target, isn't it? I mean, come on. It's a lot more exciting, to be fair. But yeah, so there you go. There's Garrett post-match. I'm sure we're going to put more post-match comments in the days ahead, probably tomorrow and the day after. Obviously, tomorrow we're going to do more stats. But one stat that I'm going to share with you today is that Millwall are 4th in the table. Isn't that nice? Isn't that marvellous? Now, some teams are playing today. There's a whole stack of games being. So Middlesbrough are playing away at Birmingham. Norwich City and Watford are playing. So that's 7 versus 9. Stoke are playing Preston. Does that affect us? Not really. Swansea Burnley. Swansea at 12, but they're 35 points. Yes. West Brom Reading again. So 10 versus 11. That's good. Hopefully, so that this is where all of these teams that are there or thereabouts, and it's pretty close. Once they start playing each other, then like one will ascend, one will descend, because one will win the game and one will lose. So that's how we find out who is good or not. So another game tomorrow is QPR versus Sheffield United. So that could probably put the kibosh on QPR. Now look, just a few weeks ago, I think QPR were up in the playoff places. Their form, if you look at the graphics on the right, they've got 4 defeats in 6, and 1 win and 1 draw, and they've dropped down to 14th. And if you go back up and look at Millwall, so 1 defeat in the last 6 games, 3 wins and 2 draws. Yes, please. And one interesting thing to note as well, not that we're 4th, we have a game in hand on Blackburn above us. If we win that game in hand, which is, we probably do need to win that game in hand, because that game in hand is against Luton, who are in 5th. And we're still waiting to see when that game will be rescheduled. Obviously, it's Christmas now, so I doubt anyone's bothering to discuss that, because it's a busy week going on. But I'm sure we'll find out sooner rather than later in the coming weeks when that game will be played. Obviously, we've got spare dates and FA Cup replay midweeks and stuff, so depending if we get knocked out of the cup, or if Luton get knocked out of the cup, or they don't need a replay in the cup, that we could play that game then. Will it need? Are we waiting for Sky? Does it need to be on Sky? Because it was selected for Sky coverage. So will the replayed Luton game need to be on Sky? But interesting, like I said, that's our game in hand against Luton, who are in 5th. If we win that game in hand, that'll catch us up to the team above us, if they're still above us by then. Blackburn, who are a bit of a basket case because they won 14 games, but they've lost 12. They've literally got the most defeats out of any team in the top 19. The only teams that have lost more games than Blackburn, who are in 3rd, are the 2 teams that are bottom of the table, Wigan and Huddersfield. That is insane. But one thing to note as well, like I said, Millwall have 11 wins. There are only 3 teams with more wins than us: Blackburn, Sheffield United, and Burnley. My oh my oh my. That is really good, isn't it? I think that's really good. Are you starting to believe it? Do you think things could be happening this season? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I've said this before in previous videos. If you look ahead to May, find out when the playoffs are happening, and don't make arrangements for those times. Don't RSVP any weddings or birthday parties, and maybe sort yourself out a membership so you can get up in the queue when the tickets would go on sale. That's going to be one hell of a game. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.